Shoulder! Arms! Order! Colors! Colors turn! March! Hut. 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 Hut.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Austin. How are you?
Las Vegas, yeah.
Thank you very much.
To see you.
Very good. Thank you very much. And thank you for having us.
Of course. No,
Yes,
it's
yes, absolutely. But thank you very much for organizing
President
me.
is excited to have you at the state dinner and the leader.
Yes.
That's a huge delegation of business that was there about a month ago. Your Excellency.
Of course, the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus. To His Excellency, President Ruto, and members of the Kenyan delegation.
Vice President Harris, look at that President Ruto as well.
Kenya has been a true leader. Your country's dynamic and well-educated workforce is already contributing to economic growth through innovation and increased trade ties. Kenya has proven successful at navigating these trade preferences and boasts one of the top AGOA utilization rates ever.
When we had the Africa Climate Summit last year, and I was asked by the Africa Union to put together the Africa Climate Summit, the first ever, to discuss the challenges that we're going through because of climate change. Swinging from floods, like is happening in Kenya the last few days, to drought in Malawi, Zimbabwe, southern part of our continent. And we came up with a roadmap that Africa is no longer going to play victim again. We are going to be part of the solution. Have the most renewable energy resources anywhere in the world. We have the largest uncultivated arable land anywhere for food security. We have the youngest young people. Our median age is 19. In fact, 40% of the world's workforce by 2050 will live in the African continent. And let me also tell you, a quarter of the world's population by 2050 will be living in Africa. So with these assets, we have made a determined push that we want to work with America. Today, countries like Kenya borrow in the financial markets 8 times more in interest than other countries. And that is the case for most African countries. We are saying the Congressional Black Caucus, this great institution, the American Congress, should lead the way in making sure that the international financial architecture, the World Bank, the IMF, multilateral development banks, are fashioned in a manner that gives every country a chance to borrow concessional resources so that we can develop our countries and we can deal with the effects of climate change, of floods, of droughts. And that no country spends more money servicing debt than paying for healthcare or education or social services for their citizens. The World Bank and IMF are doing what they can. I have tremendous respect for Ajay Banga, and I have tremendous respect for Kristalina. But this Congress, ladies and gentlemen, we request you, and I was asked specifically to ask the American Congress to double its contribution to IDA, the concessional window of the World Bank that makes sure that countries like Kenya can have resources not 8 times more expensively, but as the same as other countries.
Yes, we are already working on it.
I am happy you're already
Working on it.
Africa, Kenya, and the USA share common values of freedom, democracy, believe in the rule of law, and we all believe in equality and inclusivity. And I am very proud as I speak as though I was a member of the Congressional Black Caucus. Let me also thank President Joe Biden for inviting me for this visit so that we can build on the already solid relationship between Kenya and the United States. Today we celebrate 60 years of solid relationship between the US and Kenya. And on that solid foundation, we're called upon to build on it and to see what we can do in the face of the challenges that face us. Challenges of the pandemic, challenges of the war, challenges around insecurity, peace and stability, both in Europe, in Middle East, and of course, in our continent. As you all know, that is a continent that we call home, and I am very proud to listen to you and what you have said about your thoughts and your plans about those of us who live in the African continent. Let me assure you that as you work hard here to make sure that we bring about equality, we are also doing the same to make sure that none of us is left behind. We want to work with you on 3 major items. Number 1, we want to work with you on trade and investment.
Yes.
And I am very happy that I have heard you with clarity saying that you want to reprioritize the Africa Growth and Opportunities Act, AGOA.
Yes.
My request to you from your friends, brothers, and sisters in the African continent is that that be done in a timely fashion so that we can see how we can expand investment. People are planning when they are going to invest, and we want you to assist us to renew AGOA for 10 years. That is the message from your brothers and sisters from the African continent, number one. Number two, when we met 3 weeks ago, I was asked by the World Bank to convene the International Development Association's 21st Replenishment Summit, where we are having a conversation on how we can assist African nations, 26 of them that are on the brink of debt distress. How do we fashion a better, a fairer international financial architecture that doesn't unnecessarily and doesn't unfairly treat Africa differently from other markets? Of solid friendship between Kenya and the United States. And it is a foundation laid firmly on common and shared values of freedom, democracy, rule of law. And I am very proud that 60 years on, we have built this relationship. And today we celebrate what we can do together in the face of the challenges that face us as humanity. Challenges of the wars everywhere, we all know, in Ukraine, in Middle East, in the Horn of Africa, even the one in your neighborhood in Haiti. We have serious security challenges. But all this requires collaboration, partnership, and global leadership. It is no longer fashionable to look at climate change as just a problem. It is also an opportunity. It is an opportunity for us to invest. We want to transit Africa from being the great potential it is into opportunity and into investment. And we need the necessary partnership to be able to achieve that so that we can manage the effects of climate change, we can reverse diversity loss, we can invest in conservation, we can make sure that we reclaim wetlands, water towers, and other critical environmental services for us to be able to stop the slide to a catastrophe that we are slowly becoming because of climate change. Today, Kenya is backstopping the security challenges in the Horn of Africa. Before I came here on Saturday, I had an engagement with the president of Somalia. And we have serious security challenges because there is an impending drawdown of ATMIS that is calendar-based, not conditions-based. Our position is that the United States should step in and change the trajectory. Otherwise, we will exit ATMIS troops and the terrorists will take over Somalia. I don't think it is in anybody's interest for that to happen. We are dealing with the situation in the Sudan. We had a signing of the civil society and other political parties last week. We are dealing with the situation in South Sudan. The president of South Sudan was in Kenya, how we can hold their hand to go to elections. We have the situation in Eastern DRC, and Kenya is doing the heavy lifting. I really want to persuade friends, the great people of America whom we share values of democracy, freedom, rule of law, to work with us so that we can do more elsewhere, because we know what you're doing elsewhere. continue to anchor the security and think how we can build on investment.
We can relate to natural disasters here as well, and I know what that means is, as a resident of Louisiana, we have lots of flooding issues, and those are tragic things, so we stand with you. And we're really grateful for Kenya's partnership in opposing extremists around the world and partnering together to oppose Al-Shabaab and the jihadists, and same against the Houthis in the Red Sea and other places.
Kenya and the United States share common goal, and we share common values of freedom, democracy, rule of law, and we are celebrating this year 60 years of a solid friendship between the United States and Kenya, sharing in many areas, education and social services. Again,
Doors. Ready. Pop. Ready. Open. Well, ready. Close. Ready. Shut. Ready. Face.
Mr. President,
Thank you, sir.
appointed in the Allied backing Palestinian statehood, Mr. President.
and the other ones are like yesterday I went to this studio yes, I was told you were there. Yes. And Kenya. She is going back to graduate school.
Because of your leadership. So I can't thank you enough. Business folks who are here and Kenyan leaders said, we're ready to partner. Nearly 100% green grid. American businesses have a desire to invest more.
In return, I think, as I said, we're going to prioritize the technological partnership between our countries, and our former CEO, who was also a former CEO, is going to make sure that happens. And Vice President Harris is already building a new public-private partnership to increase investments in innovation. And because our cooperation matters, it's not just for our own people, but for people around the world. If this relationship continues to grow as it is, I think it benefits not only the United States and Kenya, but will lead and will have positive benefits literally around the world. So thank you again for being here, and look forward to working with you. And you know, we keep investing in the true strengths of our nations, our people, and in the years ahead. Mr. President, I can't thank you. Think of a better way to kick off this visit. When I visited Nairobi as Vice President, I said that the true strength of Kenya was its people, and the students, workers, founders, activists, and innovators, entrepreneurs, and so many people like you who really do depend on democracy and support democracy. Thank you. And today, as we honor 60 years of ties between our countries, it's clear that our people are the true strength of this partnership, and a partnership that's working well. Nowhere is it more important than in the realm of innovation. That's why we have so many business leaders around this table. From Silicon Valley to Silicon Savannah, our people have brought us forward, and they've pioneered new technologies that are transforming millions of lives. I mean, literally millions of lives, and it's going to go beyond that. And we've invested in new industries that have generated billions of dollars economically. And they've created new opportunities that have lifted up our countries across both our continents. And our people and our innovators have also brought together, we are all excited about this. I mean, I've not seen my team so excited about a visit in a long time. And I think it's all because of the American companies that are here, but I'm kidding. We're aware of technological cooperation between Kenya and America, including new exchanges and investments in key fields of cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and semiconductors. And this progress is thanks in large part to the leaders around this table. So my message is really straightforward and simple. Thank you, and keep it up. We're going to see more technological change in the next 10 years. I've been saying this a long time, and I mean it, than we've seen in the last 50 years. And we need your help to seize this moment. We really do. And we need you to help us find opportunities to bring the public and private sectors together. And we need you to help us strengthen the supply chains and industries of the future, including clean energy and e-commerce as well. And we need you to keep investing in the diversity of our democracies, which will make this innovation possible. So in return, I promise we'll prioritize technological partnerships between our countries.
I bring you very warm greetings from the people of Kenya and our brothers and sisters from across the continent. And I undertake this state visit on the background of 60 years of solid friendship between the United States and Kenya. And specifically, Mr. President, on the subject we are driving today here on the digital space, on technology, and the whole space around investment, trade, and the relationship that we have managed to build over the years. To confirm to you that Kenya is a young tech country, and as you have said correctly, we have spent a lot of time working with our technology companies, our technology investors. We've had twinning relationships between Silicon Savannah in Kenya and Silicon Valley in the US. And this meeting is about what we can do together around digital jobs, business process outsourcing, research and development. And Mr. President, one very important aspect is the CHIPS Act, which hopefully we will be able to have a conversation about in the coming days. And Your Excellency, it speaks to the wealth of opportunity that exists between Kenya and the United States. Our young population, talented, educated, innovative, and American technology that is cutting edge, and investment capital and investors that are hungry for opportunities, not just in Kenya, but in our continent, is a perfect match for this moment. I think we have a historic moment to explore investment opportunities between Kenya and the United States. And Mr. President, under your leadership, we believe that as we celebrate these 60 years of relationship between our two countries, we also celebrate the opportunities that come with the friendship that exists between our two countries. And as you have said correctly, the space around artificial intelligence, space around cybersecurity, and investments that come with it. We are expanding our footprint in the digital space. We are rolling out 100,000 kilometers of fiber optic in Kenya and connecting every ward and every village to a fiber backbone to make sure that e-commerce, digital jobs, and digital learning we can access to every child in Kenya. And we are very proud that we are going to work with American companies. Last month, Secretary Raimondo was in Kenya, and we agreed with her on the kind of investments, the level of investment, the type of investment that needs to be fashioned between our two sides. And my being here today is a confirmation that we are moving from ideas into action and from opportunities into investments. And hopefully, we will be able to sign off some of those investments. We have semiconductor companies here from Kenya. We have large corporates, fintech corporates in Kenya, one of them M-Pesa, and we are going to be discussing the opportunities in that space, and I look forward, Mr. President, to consummating some of the discussions around this table into concrete investments going into the future.